Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the try a chapter tag, and so how it works is I pick a couple of books and then read the first chapter from each book, and from there decide on a book I will read. So I'm excited because I have a total of 6 books here that have been on my shelf for like who knows how long, and I definitely need to read through some of them before going out and buying more books. So yeah. Okay, y'all, so I chose 6 books off of my bookshelf. Books I haven't even read, maybe with the exception of one, and by that I mean the first chapter a while ago, but I have definitely not read it through its entirety. So yeah, I have 6 books, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all the summary of them and then my predictions if I'll like it or not. So the first one is Black City by Elizabeth Richards. This is the book that I may have read the first chapter a while ago, but I just never read the rest of it for whatever reason. So it says, Natalie, a human and daughter of a government official, is still reeling from her father's murder by a crazed Darkling. So how can she now be falling for Ash, a brooding half-blood Darkling boy? Despite being half-human, Ash is scorned everywhere he goes. The Sentry have banished all Darklings to the wrong side of the ghetto wall and will love nothing more than to have them totally eradicated from the United Century States. Though he tries to deny how he feels about Natalie, knowing it could be a danger to them both, Ash is finding it hard to stay away. In the aftermath of a terrible, bloody war in the still smoldering Black City, Natalie and Ash do the unthinkable. They fall in love. So my prediction for this book, I think maybe I'll like it. I'm not sure. It has a interesting synopsis, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I read the first chapter of this a while ago, and I can't remember too much about it, so who knows. Oh, this is not part of the stack. Okay, so the next book is Girl by Blake Nelson. And so it says, welcome to the world of Portland teenager Andrea Marr, the bold, sexy, shy, often confused, but always resilient heroine of Girl. Told in a voice that reads like the intimate diary of a young woman about to take life on full throttle, this wonderful debut novel chronicles Andrea's journey from suburban mall to Portland's thriving underground rock scene, and back again as she discovers sex, betrayal, and even love. And so the book also says it's a catcher in the rye for the grunge generation. I don't know. I'm not sure about this book. Perhaps, maybe. The third book is Teardrop by Lauren Kate. And so it says, 17-year-old Eureka won't let anyone close enough to feel her pain after her mother was killed in a freak accident. The things she used to love hold no meaning. She wants to escape, but one thing holds her back: Andrew, the boy who's everywhere she goes, whose turquoise eyes are like the ocean. And then Eureka uncovers an ancient tale of romance and heartbreak about a girl who cried an entire continent into the sea. Suddenly her mother's death and Andrew's appearance seem connected, and her life takes on dark undercurrents that don't make sense. Can everything you love be washed away? Ooh, this one sounds interesting. So I've read Lauren Kate's Fallen books before. Well, I think the first one, and I liked it, and I do have the rest of the books on my bookshelf for that series, so I definitely need to read it again. But this definitely sounds kind of interesting. I love me a good mystery, so maybe I'll choose this one. I don't know. But I like the cover though, it's pretty. So the fourth book is The Originals by Kat Patrick. And so from what this book is about, I think it's about a group of triplets, girl triplets, who, well, no, they grow up believing they're identical triplets, and so they end up learning the truth and no one else can know. And so it focuses on one of the triplets who meets a guy who helps her realize, she's not like the others, And then she begins to uncover this unusual family dynamic the triplets have with their mother. I think this could possibly be a book I choose. I don't know. Okay, so the fifth book is Unremembered by Jessica Brody. I read a little bit about the summary of this book, and from what I know, it's about a girl who's the only sole survivor of this plane crash. You know, of course, there's like this trope of like, she doesn't know who she is, where she's at. She doesn't have any recollection of her past life. And so it says, crippled by a world she doesn't know, plagued by abilities she doesn't understand, and haunted by a looming threat she can't remember. She struggles to piece together her forgotten past and discover who she really is. But every clue leads to more questions, and her only hope is a strangely alluring boy who claims to know her from before the crash, who claims they were in love, but can she really trust him? And will he be able to protect her from the people who made her forget? I don't know. I feel like I've I feel like I've read or seen a couple, no, wait, hold on. I feel like I've read or seen this trope a lot where somebody's the only sole survivor of the plane crash and they have no recollection of what happened to them and they gotta figure out what happened. So I'm like, I doubt I'll choose this book, but it may change once I read the first chapter. Okay. So the last book is Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers, and it's basically about a teenage girl who's just going through stages of life. So she starts drinking at school and failing her classes. And so she used to be she is the cheerleading captain, girlfriend of the most popular guy in school, teacher's pet, and future valedictorian. But she's fallen from grace. But she doesn't want to talk about it. She'd like to just be left alone, to be disappeared, to ignored. But her parents have placed her on suicide watch, and her counselors are demanding the truth. Worse, there's a nice guy falling in love with her, and he's making her feel things again when she'd really rather not be feeling anything at all. Nobody would have guessed she turned out like this, but nobody knows the truth. Something horrible has happened, and it might just be her fault. Okay, so I read the summary of this book maybe a couple of minutes before this video, and I guess my eyes like missed the part where it says something horrible has happened and it might just be her fault, because before that I was like, okay, it's just a novel about, you know, a teenager going through different stages and, you know, feeling misunderstood and stuff like that, which I can totally relate to when I was younger. But the something horrible has happened really reels me in, because now I'm like, okay, what happened? Tell me. But yeah, those were the 6 books I chose from my shelf. So now I'm going to read the first chapters of each of the books and then come back, give y'all my thoughts about them, and then choose the book I'm going to read. Alright guys, I am back. I've read all the first chapters of the 6 books, so I'm going to give you guys my thoughts about them before I tell you which book I chose. Okay, so the first book, Black City. The first chapter I really enjoyed. The first chapter is told in the point of view of a character named Ash, who's like a darkling, which is, when I read the chapter, I'm guessing that's sort of like a vampire, but he's a little bit of a bad boy, which I kind of like. I'm not gonna lie, I love bad boy characters, so I was reading, I was like, I don't know if I should just go on to the second chapter or what. But yeah, that was the first book. The next one is the originals. So in the first chapter of the book, it's about one of the sisters who's part of the triplets, and I guessing it's like her turn to go to school that day. And so something happens at school where she has to have like a big family discussion meeting with her other two triplet sisters and her mom to discuss how they're going to move forward. And there's a little bit about how they negotiate between who's going to do what activity or what classes for the school period. So this book, I would say, I mean, it was okay as far as the chapters go, but nothing that really gripped me. The third book is Girl. So this chapter, the first chapter was pretty short. I think it was maybe about 2 or 3 pages, and in those 2 or 3 pages, it's just like a chapter about this girl at home. And so she has a friend who, like, I guess shaved her head bald, and her friend is needing a little bit of, like, I guess you would say somebody to lean on because she's like crying and stuff. I don't know, I kind of was just like so not a lot to say about that one. That being said, I don't think I'll be choosing this book. The next one is Teardrop. This book was pretty interesting because it had a prologue, you know what, y'all know what I'm saying. And it started off with the action right out of the gate, which I loved because I think, like I said in one of my other videos, I prefer if the action starts off like right away and I'm not sitting there just like waiting for it to be like, when is it gonna happen? So with this book, or for the next chapter, it was more so about like her dealing with the aftermath of what happened in the prologue. And so it was definitely, it kind of caught my attention a little bit. The next book is Cracked Up to Be. So for the first chapter, it's about like a girl, she's just going through just like stuff with school. She's failing her classes, I think, and she's not really turning in her assignments and stuff. So I think she has a couple of friends that are talked about in the first chapter, but I didn't really like it too much because it didn't really hold my attention too well, which I feel like is kind of a me problem instead of the book problem. But it wasn't really too memorable for me, like, because as y'all can see, I'm struggling to even remember what happened in the first chapter, even though like I just read it not too long ago. So yeah, I probably would not choose this book either. The last book is Unremembered. So in the first chapter of this book, well, there's a little bit of a prologue in this book, just like with Teardrop. And so the prologue, of course, is like after the ship has crashed and stuff. And so she wakes up in the middle of the ocean. She's kind of lost and doesn't know what's going on. And of course, a rescue team finds her. And then in the next chapter, it deals with her just like being in the hospital and her trying to like put the pieces together of what's happened to her. I thought it was exciting. I don't think it's necessarily a book I would choose either. I mean, I liked how the action was happening right there, but it didn't really do anything for me. But that being said, I'm honestly struggling to make my decision between Teardrop and Black City. I feel like I'm a little bit biased to Black City just because I may have read it a while ago, but then I'm also a little bit biased because it has the bad boy trope in which I absolutely love. So, but then with Teardrop, there was a lot of action and there was a lot of mystery about what was going on. So I'm like, I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to choose. You know what? Just give me a minute and I'm gonna come back and tell y'all which one I chose. Okay, y'all, I am back and I think I've made a decision. So drum roll, please. I think I'm gonna go with a Black City. And it doesn't have anything with me being biased. No. Yes. No. No. Cause like I did skim a little bit of the book before, well, after I read the first chapter, and I was like, okay, none of this seems familiar. So I concluded that I've only read the first chapter, so I'm not biased. But yeah, I was thinking about reading both. Like this one first and this one afterwards, but then I kind of feel like I'm just lying to myself because I feel like I won't pick up this book until maybe later on down the road. Because, or else there will be like a video of me and I'll be like, yeah, guys, I chose these two books to read. And then I'll come back like next week and I'll have like a video being like reacting to me lying. I've definitely did not read this book. So that's why I said I'm just gonna go ahead and choose Black City. I want to learn more about the Ash character. I really liked what I what I read during the first few pages. So yeah, this will be the book. And so I'll definitely tell y'all my thoughts about it, maybe in a reading vlog or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to read this book. That being said, don't forget to follow me on all of my socials. I'll link them down below. So don't forget to follow me on my Bookstagram and my book Twitter, Dear Neela99, as well as my personals, which I'll link down below because I know I'll butcher the name. But yeah, thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys have a good day and be on the lookout for my other videos. Bye.